Hello, students. Can you hear my voice? Can I get a confirmation if my voice is audible?
Yes, sir. You're audible.
Thank you. Thank you, Meryl. Thank you, Abhiraj. Okay, now let's come to the question. So let's start working on the question first. So again, I told you that I will initially guide you with the question sequences and then we can improve. So now let's start looking at the requirement first. Firstly, discuss the risk that we may face due the current situation, and please recommend some actions that we can take in order to minimize the risk. So if you observe, once again, they are giving you a situation which is a current situation. So you need to be very much finance manager oriented. There needs to having a presence of mind, and you need to have that mindfulness, because you can't just do the examination by just reading and going. So there is a risk taking place at the business, and we need to identify the impact of that risk and how we can minimize that risk. So secondly, I need you to provide explanation on how we are going to address the shareholders in the upcoming extraordinary meeting regarding the price change issues. So students, what I will do, as I always told you, whenever you go to the examination, try to write down the headings clearly. So I'll write down here, risk Snak wheel may face due to current situation. Due to current situation. I will update this current situation because I have not read the case study in detail. So I don't know what is the current situation. And then I will write down here actions that can be taken to minimize the risk. And the part B requirement, once again, it's clearly mentioned. That is addressing the shareholders on the price change issues. That's a share price change issues because of this. So the headings are very clear, but the thing is you need to make sure that you have a content that is fulfilling the requirement. So coming back to the case study. So Rashida. Students, can someone tell me who is Rashida in this company? Anyone? Rashida is effectively whom, students? The marketing director. Marketing director. Get this understanding properly. Has sent you the following mail. As per the sales dashboard, we have come to know that the sales has reduced during the current month and last 3 months. We had not given much consideration, thinking there is a seasonal issues due to summer, since people are able to visit the restaurant directly. But later, when you have accessed the driver's blog, please refer the reference material. We have come to understand that we have been impacted mainly due to the actions taken by the competitors. So students, in the examination, they will always give you reference material, and the reference material is critically important in order to score a lot of marks in the examination. Further, the shareholders are raising questions on why share price are reducing and the actions that we will take in order to manage the prices and the wealth. So let's come to the situation. Now it's very clear there is a drop in the sales. And one thing is it has been due to a competitor's action. So what I will do in my planning sketch, I will just write down the rationale. So one thing I will just write it down in my planning sketch is drop in sales. One is drop in sales, that is very clear. And the other one is drop in the share price. Drop in the share price. So these are the two major factors in my writing skid I have written. And the reasons for these drops are effectively because of one thing, competitor action. What is that, students? Competitor actions. Again, listen this carefully. It is competitor actions. Understand it very clearly, students. It is competitor action. And we are now going to go through what the competitor actions are before we come into the detailed structurization. So coming back to the case study, let's go towards the competitor section. So let's see here the reference material. I believe the reference material is visible. So today I received a link from one of my staff in the division about the driver's blog. It had the following extract. So Courier Diary Journal, Joseph is one of the driver. Hey all, please understand that your time is precious and important at the end. We need to make money. I have been working for Snack Bike, but they only provide me compensation based on the delivery. But I just use truck bikes and munch bike where they are paying based on kilometers travel, and also they are making some allowances in case if we deliver faster and the customer provides good rating. I am now making 30% more. Please consider. Felix, another person. I agree with Joseph. He is correct. I am able to make money compared with Snack Wheel. Please think wise. 100 users has marked this statement as useful. So students, this is a practical situation. This is a practical situation. If you are in this sector, this is one of the practical situation. So I believe the ideas are very clear. Can I quickly get a Y in the chat box, students, if you get this Courier Diary Journal clearly? Can I quickly get this if you understood what has happened? Because the examiner is always slow. He will never tell it directly. He will always make sure that you go around and think. So this is one issue that has taken place. I feel this is the main reason we are not getting sufficient orders via the app, since we do not have enough drivers and competitors have more drivers. I feel this is a serious issue and the management needs to take immediate actions in order to make the product more successful in the market of West area. Further, the drop in EPS had made a signaling effect in the market and shareholders want explanation at the moment. Please be kind enough to draft a proper response as well. Now, students, I believe this is giving you a better understanding, a better clarity on what has happened. So students, what we will do is I will just take it down and competitors action. So what is the competitors action? This is something, a unique thing that has taken place. A very good strategy, I can say. The beauty of business is anything is unpredictable. So one thing I can say, kilometers per pay, they are not giving per order, they are paying per kilometers. And then additional allowances, they are giving additional allowances as well. Additional allowances is also paid to the drivers for the ratings and the service quality. And also one thing they have specifically mentioned, 30% extra earnings, 30% extra earnings. So this is a super strategy done by truck bike and I can say the munch bike as well. So what has happened, this has effectively made the sales go down because we do not have independent drivers now working for us. And the secondary thing that has happened here is this has affected the EPS and it has affected the share price of the organization. So my mind is very clear. This is what has happened. So now what are the risks that we are going to face? Now, students, I told you nowadays the examiners answers, you need to have a proper flow. Okay, you need to plan it very, very well. So this is, I can say, the second requirement. And this is the first requirement, if I'm not mistaken. This is very clear when I'm writing. So in the first issue, they want you to identify the impact of this. The impact of this major change that has happened. And then students, they are also asking you some actions that can be taken, impacts and the actions that can be taken. And it's a 60% content. So you need to make sure it's having a little more content compared with this. And when it comes to the EPS and the share price, what we need to do is we need to organize a proper communication on how we are going to make sure that the shareholders are having the confidence they had in us. Now let's come to the group discussion. So I will start with Pam. Pam, is it possible for you to give the idea for the first one? What are the impacts do you think because of this strategy pursued by our competitors, Munch Bike and Track Bikes? It's a very good question.
Okay. Hi.
Hi.
So, share price.
You can take your time. I will just pass the mic to someone. So
Okay.
I will ask it from Yamini. Yamini, I believe the story is clear now. So you need to be very much concerned and give a solution. What do you think, Yamini? If you don't know, you can say don't know.
I'm still thinking, so yeah, I don't know for now.
Okay, Kavya.
So yeah, even I have time. I need some time to think.
Okay. Anyone in the classroom who can get the answer now? Can I quickly get a Y in the chat box? Because students, be very careful. 60 minutes timing is the examination. And already I can say 15 minutes is gone by reading. Abhiraj, yes, Abhiraj. Yes.
I think like because of the competitors paying a kilometer and additional allowance and extra earning also, so they are paying the extra benefit. So our existing customer, existing riders may move from us to the competitors.
Correct. That has already happened. That has already happened.
Already happened. Okay.
That is there in the requirement. No. So that the company already knows that. Correct.
Okay.
Now we
Sir,
need
there
to
will be
be
orders. There will be orders delay, sir. Like customers need to wait for more time for the orders to.
Excellent. Loss of orders. 100% agreed, Jay. Because it will happen, right? Jay, I think you would have also encountered this with Uber and Ola. Ola is faster than Uber. Have you ever observed that, Jay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, no, because Ola went with the extra payment strategy. So that's how they quickly grow very faster. Can you remember, Jay? Ola had autos. Can you remember earlier? Before
Yes,
Uber
sir.
came with autos. So that's a clear indicator of how the sales of Uber went down and Ola went up. So loss of orders is a super point. It's a super point. Any other point of view? Students, you are finance manager. This is a board discussion. If I give the answers at the end of the day, exam day, you will be finding it very difficult. So you need to come with your own points. Brand value, I cannot say brand value is a direct impact now. It can be a long-term impact. So I'll just write down brand value. But brand value is not an immediate impact. What do you think, Jay? Yes or no? Jay,
Yes, sir.
Brand value is a technical answer. Don't go with that. I'll just put brand value because you gave it, but be very careful. You're thinking in that pattern because you're a finance manager. So generally students, brand will not get affected immediately. It may not get affected immediately. because of this. Mr. Rikas, any point of view you can think, Mr. Rikas?
Yeah, Mr. Bill. I think more reliance on permanent couriers, right? In that case, we have to make more spend on, I mean, for their fixed salaries and all, compared to temporary. That means independent contractors, their expenditure should be higher. That can be one reason for reduction in profit.
Correct. Full-time. So that's an action, because we can go with full-time couriers, because full-time couriers are anyway having employment benefit. But the problem is, Mr. Rikas, considering this, how many full-time couriers we have in our organization?
3,000.
3,000. And part-time couriers?
23,000.
So I think, can we afford from 3,000 to go to that 23,000? But your answer is correct. Your answer is correct. But that's a discussion. Okay. I think you got what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, Mr. Bill. Yeah.
Because 23,000 is a big number, and 23,000 managing is not easy. And I can say the competitors have done a very nice strategy to attract this bigger number. Because students, if you observe in the West area country, actually they have totally 55,000 outlets. West area has 55,000 outlets. And of that 55,000 outlets, we are having a coverage of 12,000, I think, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere around 12,000. So let's just go through the chat box. Some answers are coming. So let's see. Employees or courier can switch to competitor. That only we have done. Additional cost in order to attract drivers. Low sales impact cash flow to the company. Burden on full-time employees to cover the orders. That won't be a possibility. So another impact I can generally say is, Jay, can I ask a question?
Yes, sir.
Jay, can there be a situation that we can lose the restaurants tie-ups, if I'm
Yes,
not
sir.
mistaken?
Yes, sir.
Because one is loss of orders, another one is restaurant tie-ups. Because if you generally see, the restaurants have already having peak times, like 10 o'clock, I can say 12 to 2, the peak time. So during that time, when you are not giving the excess supply, what is needed, the restaurants may be dissatisfied and you may lose the contract, if I'm not mistaken. That is one major factor that will definitely affect it. And another thing is, Jay, we need to focus on the KPI. I'll just tell you how the KPI in this industries are done. Can you remember, Jay, in the last pre-scene, we had something called that referral everything. Can you remember? No, Jay? They gave the KPIs in the pre-scene material, correct?
Yes,
No,
sir.
Jay?
They gave the KPI. Yes, sir.
But in this, they did not give the KPI. So we need to
Day-to-day
find,
users and all.
correct. So day-to-day users. So can I just say daily active users will reduce? What do you think? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Daily active users will reduce. And what will happen is app downloads will reduce. Correct, no, Jay?
I'm done.
App
Yes, sir.
downloads will reduce. And in the App Store, can there be negative comments about that?
Correct, sir.
Possible or not possible?
Yes, sir.
Negative comments can come. App rating can come down. Yes or no?
Yes,
Can
sir.
the app rating reduce? Of course, there can be a reduction in the app rating as well. And another point of view, I can generally say, if all these things are affecting, frankly speaking, you may eventually lose the first move advantage also. What do you think, Jay? If you see, because sometimes companies like Paytm, they were the first mover, right? And now I don't think people are using Paytm. Correct?
ATM. Yes, sir. Correct, sir.
So again, students, one of the major factors that you need to consider is the daily active users, because that no one told, because the daily active users can reduce. So the action is what Mr. Rikas told is correct. It's a good action. But what
Sir,
I am specifically, yes, just Jay.
Sir, we can also pay a 30% extra, no, sir. It's a
That is the
basic
second
thing.
one. That is the second one. Thank you. Thank you. That was the other point of view I am saying. Because Mr. Rikas, are you understanding what I'm saying, Mr. Rikas? Because we
Yeah.
can do more recruitment, but if you see again, practically speaking, going with the market is safer. What do you think, Mr. Rikas? Practically speaking. So I can generally say 30% extra could be paid, and be par with the competitors. Be par with the competitors. Be par with the competitors. Students, this is one major thing. Just want to ask from Jay. Jay, can you remember when Jio came with free internet connection? Even others slowly reduced, right? If I'm not mistaken, yes or no, Jay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, no. So that is the problem in this sector, students. If it is a oligopoly market, there will be very few dominant players, but one person reduces the price, there can be a huge shift towards the demand. So all should work accordingly to the path. So this is one more thing, that the actions that we can take. Now I want to ask a question because it's connected with the shareholders also. Now, when you are going to pay extra 30%, how are you going to compensate that 30%? That is a good question. Now, the correct answer is, practically speaking, Abhiraj, can I ask that question from you? Abhiraj, paying 30% equivalent to the competitors, do you agree with that? Is that a good strategy, Abhiraj? Yes or no?
Yeah, it's a
Because actually you can't control the numbers if you
Numbers.
speak practically. It's impossible. So coming to the when you spend 30% extra, how are you going to recover that 30%? It's a good
actually you can allocate 2 orders. Like if you're paying extra for one riders, you can allocate 2 orders, minimum 2 orders at a time. Then you can cut down the rate for the kilometers, right?
Correct. Now the thing happens like this. When it is per kilometers, I can specifically say journeys improve. What do you think, Abhiraj? Yes or no?
Yes.
Because journeys improve. So one thing is, volume wise you may earn more. Correct? Volume wise you may earn more. That I can specifically say economies of scale you can achieve. That is one more point of view. Economies of scale. That is one more point of view. But the other point of view on this 30% increase of the cost, what they can do further is they can focus on advertising income. What do you think, Abhiraj? Advertising income is within the app. They can increase the rate for advertisement, branding, connection. But they need to be very careful whether the competitors are also charging a bigger money. Because here you need to work together in a business sector like this. If one party goes up or down, everything will get affected. So advertising income can be one solution to do that. Or another solution that can be improved is develop, or I can say expand to new market. Correct? Because currently they are only established in the market of 6 major cities, right? Six major cities, but they can expand to a 7th major city as well. Because Abhiraj, you see in practical, in Colombo, Uber rates are different, in Kandy, Uber rates are different, in Jaffna, it may be different. So effectively, students, the rates can effectively affect. And I think Jay also can agree, like in Chennai, the rates are different, in Cochin, the rates are different, right, Jay, if I'm not mistaken? It will change accordingly. So students, this is the structurization of thinking that is required in the case study exam day. But you see, students, it took time. Do you see here, students, just to develop the points, it took time. So if I am going to like structurize my answer, I need to prioritize the order. So Jay, now if you forget about the green color ink, look at the black color where I have written KPI and the impact, your answers. Can you please tell me, Jay, what you will be selecting, if I'm not mistaken? Like, what should be your first priority when you are writing the answer?
So my priority will be like, we'll be missing out the daily active users. That's what the
first one
point
is
will be there.
daily active users. Then
and we'll be saying about apps and also like
no, it should be loss of orders.
Loss of orders. Okay, fine. Loss of orders.
Loss of orders. Then
and restaurant losing the third, it will be third point, sir. Restaurant will lose contract with restaurants.
Excellent.
Then we'll be going with the apps, like reviews and play stores and other things we'll go with.
Excellent. And the last one is we may
Last one
lose
is
the
like
first mover advantage and the brand value. Correct?
brand
no?
value. Yes, sir. In long term, if it continues, it will lose the brand value.
Can I get a double Y from the students if you understand how to get that order? Because it's not easy, students. Brain is working and examiner needs a proper quality answer also. So if you write reduction in brand immediately, students, they will slowly, the answer is correct, but the quality is wrong. So that is the point of view. Excellent, excellent. So coming to the next one, the actions. Now, if you see the actions, how are you going to prioritize the actions?
Sir, first I will write that 30%. We can also pay as per how competitors are moving. We can also pay as per competitors. So that point I will write first, sir.
Okay.
Then I will say like even we can recruit for emergency purpose. We can recruit more full-time couriers, and we can also pay some extra. I can add up few more points.
And the last one will be go with the 30% hike. Correct? No. So
No, sir. First will be that point. No, like we'll be
no,
going. With,
I can say better to go with the recommendation last. You get what I'm saying? Because action, you need to choose the most suited action. So first action, go with the risk averse one, because this is the most risk averse one. Very easy. You get what I'm saying? No need to pay 30%. Recruit more, but
Okay,
practically not possible. Correct? In the short term. But you can go with 30% extra because the market is very much having a competition. So we need to go with that as a conclusion. Are you understanding what I'm saying, Jay?
yes, sir.
So this one is, I think, fine. This one is fine. The share price, everything. So that order is fine, no, Jay, if I'm not mistaken. 1,
Yes, sir.
2, 3. So students, I am just suggesting you, don't worry, students. First 2-3 days, you will be complicating with this analysis, but when it comes later on, you will find it very, very easier to do it. So students, let's start working. So can I just write it down for y'all? Can I get a Y in the chat box, students, if I can start working and write it for you? Thank you. Thank you. I just want to speak to the students in the class. Meryl, are you understanding how the SCS works out, Meryl?
Yes, sir. I'm able to
Because
understand.
in MCS, you are not at all bothered whether the order is correct or not correct. Correct, Meryl? But here
Yes,
there
yes.
needs to be a proper flow and it is possible. Kavya, is it fine for you, Kavya? Just want to ask as a confirmation before moving into detailed discussion. And also want to ask from Yamini. Yamini, is it fine for you?
Yes, sir. I'm
Thank you.
learning.
Okay, so students, let's start working with this. So the orders of writing. So I will just make it very much like a story. So I'll write in here, firstly, the main issue that we may face because of lack of independent drivers will be the daily active users of the app may reduce, since whenever they are making an order, they may receive a notification stating that we don't have drivers for the moment. This may have a shift in the mind of the consumers, since they are office workers, since they are home students, office workers, and they need to have a reliable service. They need to have a reliable service. Example, in case if there is an office event and the app is not working, then they may have to pick up from the closest restaurant. Which may have a very bad impression towards the business, full stop. Students, can I get a Y in the chat box? If you got that detailed way of writing, students, can I quickly get a Y in the chat box? Thank you. Now students, you see the word count, it's coming to 100 odd words. So it's very clear. I'm not bullet points, and then I'll write down here. Secondly is the second order. You see, this is the order structure. So I'll write down here. Secondly, there will be loss of orders from the regular clients or from the regular consumers, which may have an impact towards the commission income of the firm, which may affect the sales and the profit margins, which may affect the sales and the profit margins. Students, get that point of view clearly, because that's the identification of that. Further, this can create a loss of revenue to the restaurant chains as well. And also the dark kitchen facilities may be underutilized. Again, understand the term, students. May be what, students? Underutilized. That is one more point of view. Get this understanding of this application very, very well, because that's the point of view. Mainly because of lack of transport available. Now coming to the third point, so I'll write down here. Thirdly, since the restaurant chain may find other app partners more productive and effective, they may slowly reduce the relationship with Snack Wheel, and they may shift the dark kitchen facilities to a competitor firm. Get this understanding very clearly. Further, there can be situations that the food industry in West area may slowly blacklist Snack Wheel, since they are not contributing to the required sales. Get this point of view very, very well. This can have a long-term impact towards the company share price as well. Now let's come to the fourth point, students. Now the fourth point is going to be a little easy. In the Play Store, the app downloads may reduce, and further in the app comments, the consumers may share the experience as well. There can be situations, even the restaurant chains can share their experiences in the comment section. Further, this can reduce the ratings of the app. This will provide a competitive advantage for other players like Munchbike and I can say truck bikes, a better opportunity to attract the market share of snack wheel. Full stop. Finally, due to lack of supply chain management, there can be situations that the company can slowly lose the first mover advantage, and also they can eventually lose the brand value that is perceived in the market by the consumers. Full stop. This will be a very serious issue. Full stop. So students, I believe a strong point of view has been done. And can I quickly get a Y in the chat box, students? If you can feel that there is a proper order in this answer, it's going like a proper storybook answer, students. It's going very neatly and clearly, and the addressing is very clear. So just remember the firstly, secondly, thirdly, finally, those way of structuring. It's really, really appreciated by the examiner. Actions that can be taken to minimize the risk with the recommendation also. So one action is we can increase the full-time employees, but the problem what we will be facing, that's a good point, because we can go into a detailed level of discussion. It can go extremely deeper to that level of discussion of the number game, because if you see 3,000 to 23,000, I think the number, guys, it's very, very difficult to go for 23,000 immediately, and it will effectively be an overhead cost as well. And then I will come to the second one. Okay, since it's impossible, let's go ahead with what the competitors are doing, at least to sustain the market share we have. So that's the structuring. And students, why I'm repeating this before I'm writing the answer is I'm talking to myself. I'm giving instruction to myself that I should not go wrong. Can I quickly get a Y in the chat box if you get that clarity that I am giving instruction to myself? Because students, give instructions to yourself in the examination. Don't directly write the answer, students. Instruction to yourself is very, very critical. Now, coming into the discussion here, So let's do the discussion clearly. So I'll write down here, students, since we have 3,000 full-time staff for courier, we can generally manage the service of dark kitchen and the densely populated regions. However, in practical, the independent couriers are important. The independent couriers are important. Get this understanding very, very well, because they have the ability. Again, understand it very clearly, students. They have the ability, because they have the ability to serve the mass market. Since currently we have 23,000 independent drivers reporting at least 10 hours per week minimum. So that is the point of view. But in practical terms, if we try to increase the full-time workers, we may have to increase the overhead cost. Since we have to consider all employment benefits as per West area. As per West area. Understand it clearly, students, as per West area. Therefore, in practical terms, as a short run solution, this may not be possible. This may not be possible. Full stop. So students, understand the structure. We gave a solution and we explained the difficulties of that solution, and we concluded that as well. State, apply, and conclusion. And now, students, I'm going to do the next one. Further, if we analyze the market structure of West area app-based companies for food delivery, we can understand there is a situation that the company will be able to, manage with the options provided by the competitors. Since we are having an oligopoly market structure, we are having an oligopoly market structure. Get that point of view very clearly, students. We are having an oligopoly market structure. That is very clear. So I will further continue. Therefore, we need to make sure that the company is able to change the policies as per industry norm, where we will be paying 30% extra, but we will manage to handle the service quality better. The service quality better. Full stop. This is the main action that is essential in the short run. Full stop. So students, I can just, this is not relevant, but I can just give you one small explanation. Students, Jay, you may be knowing Jet Airways, right, Jay, if I'm not mistaken. So Jet Airways failed in India because of budget airlines, correct? No, Jay, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, sir.
Sir. But if you see Emirates, what did Emirates did? Emirates understood there is a budget airlines market coming, and Emirates, they were very much, I can say, diplomatic. They also formed their own budget airline called Fly Dubai, because Fly Dubai is a subsidiary of Emirates. Are you understanding that point? So what happens is, if you are in a market where the competitions are very high, it's always better to go with that, because at least we will be having that control over the market, students. So students, I believe this answer is very practical. So can I get a Y in the chat box, students, if you are clear with this structurized answer, students? Because it's very, very important that you are getting that out of these students. Very, very clear. So students, what we will do now, the next thing what we will do now is the coming connection to the last one, how we are going to like address the shareholders. Now we are going to pay 30% more also. So there is a practical aspect as well. Now, can I ask one question from Jay? Jay, in real life, in corporate, what is the main objective of the management?
Increase shareholders' wealth.
No, no. Minimize the risk of the company,
Company. Okay.
not shareholders well. Students, again, the main objective in the real life corporation is minimize the risk of the company, because shareholders well, you can increase in unethical way as well, if I'm not mistaken. Correct, no, Jay, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Because if you say shareholders wealth as the main priority, you can go with unethical way of increasing. So there can be a situation later, but the effective management is always minimizing the exposure to the risk. So I'll write down here the main objective of management is to minimize the risk exposed by a firm and make sure that the company has a going concern and providing a sustainable return. Now, Jay, by any chance, did you come across Netflix is making a bigger losses nowadays? Did you get any idea?
Yes, sir. From beginning itself, they are making losses.
No. Recently, 200,000 subscribers went out. Anyone in the class? Meryl, did you go through anything like that recently? Share price of Netflix went down.
No, sir.
No. I'll share that document, students. So once again, you see, Jay, Netflix went on shareholders' wealth. They ignored the risk exposure. Are you understanding what I'm saying? Now you look at a company like Tata. Tata is bothered about wealth or risk. What do you feel, Jay? Practically speaking, risk, right?
Risk only, sir.
Right. So students, this is the greatest successful organization they focus on. So now I will give the next point. So I'll write down here, although the share price has reduced, we need to make sure that we take proper actions to sustain the business. Therefore, we need to provide the remunerations to the independent couriers as per the market standard. This may reduce the share price and EPS further in the short run, because we can anticipate a fall of 30% in the profits. That's clear, no students? We can definitely anticipate a 30% fall in the profits. Now I will further continue, students, to make it even more clearer and easier for you to understand it. However, this decision will always make sure that the company has retained the market share, which is more important than the profits for sustainable going concern. Jay, I think you got that point. Clear, no, Jay, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, sir.
The 30% increase can be compensated generally via the increase in the delivery and also economies of scale, where a courier can deliver more parcels at the same route of the journey. So that is like, I can say, the Uber pool they have. So same route of the journey. That is one understanding. This will also make sure that we can gain more customers and also more restaurant chains in the long run. We'll stop. Further, we can consider other avenues of income, such as advertisement of food within the app, which can generally increase the revenue of the firm. And also, we can target expanding to new cities at West area, where there can be less competition and where we can make the skim profit till the competitors arrive. And also we can expand to other services such as courier delivery and also grocery delivery if required. But the current risk needs to be accepted as an inherent risk. And we have to update the business model. Stop. Students, this is the answer we have done. So I think what we have learned today, more than the answer, I think, is that prioritization. So students, any questions you have, you can ask me. You have complete independence to ask any questions regarding this. This is the first question and answer. If you do not have any questions, can I get a Y in the chat box, students? Thank you. Thank you. Now let's come to the overall question discussion. Any questions you can ask now, not related to the question, anything you like, you can ask. So I'll come to that as well. So yes, so I'll start from Jay. Jay, any questions for the day?
No, sir. So when we will start trying out mocks, sir?
Your mocks you will start from Sunday, this
Okay,
Sunday.
sir.
But
Okay,
what I'm doing is I'm giving you time to relax. You understand what I'm saying, no, Jay? Because
Yes, sir.
although the case study looks very easy, it's not easy because you saw, right? It's completely, I can say, interdependence of both the enterprises, restaurants plus the drivers as well. High
Yes, sir.
risk.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So I will ask Hina, any questions for the day?
No, sir, no question. Thank you.
Thank you. Kavya, any questions for the day? Mr. Rikas, any questions?
No, Mr. Fair, thank you.
Meryl, any questions?
No, sir.
Pam, any questions?
Just one. In addition to these mocks we're doing, what other learning do we need to do? Do we need to pick up on the pillars? Because at the moment it's just reading the case.
Co-activities only, because our co-activities is very important for the case study, because that is the ultimate for the case study exam. Pillars are specifically for the OTQ examination. Are you understanding what I'm saying there?
Yes, I understand that. That's what I mean, like the core activities from A to E. So
Correct.
where can we find the material for that?
No, we are learning from that. There is no suggested material, because if you learn technically, your answers will be going down. So today I did the co-activity B1,
B1.
suitable strategic analytical tools. After that, I went recommend strategic decision, A2, strategic options, I did that. Okay. And then
you
recommend KPIs to encourage sound strategic management. Because the problem is, there is, if you learn by this, your exam concentration will get affected, because they don't specifically give one activity only. They
No.
mix it up and give. Are you clear what I'm saying? Because
Yes.
they have a holistic view of writing in the examination. So when you go with pillar wise, or when you go with this order wise, what will happen is that concentration towards the final answer will get affected. Are you clear with that? Because when we do the mocks, effectively these things will be completed, and these are the idea. Are you clear with what I'm saying? Today we did not have internal controls, but we went through this in the order. Are you getting that point?
Yes. Where is this document saved? The one you're just sharing?
It's there in the Google Classroom. You just check and see it is there. It's there in the reference material section, where the study materials are there.
So when we're doing the mocks, so like mock 1 and this is mock 2, So so in mock one, so which areas did we cover in mock one? Are you taking those off against
Yes,
this grid?
again, correct. I am always taking that connected. There is no specific area, but everything will be consolidated when we do all the mocks.
Okay, so when we're doing the mocks, is it a 3-hour examination mock?
For the
Or is
first
it just
time,
one question?
First hour, it will be only one question.
One
But
question, okay.
when it goes further, it will be 3 questions as a full mock. Because
Okay.
most of the students are full-time workers.
Mhm.
They can't afford 3 hours per day on a consistent manner every day. So we will be doing the full mocks, but initially we'll focus on improving the stability of each sections.
Mhm. Okay. Okay, I'll try and find this document, then it gives you a bit of a matrix to follow.
Take a printout also, because that is very important. Because the statement of I can is important.
Yeah.
It's not about that I know.
Yeah.
Anyone can, the book knowledge is I know strategic options. But I can is a skill. I know is a knowledge. Are you getting the difference here? Because
Yes.
everyone knows what is GDP, but I can increase the GDP is a skill of an economist. I know what is GDP is a graduate skill. It's not a professional skill. Are you now getting the difference? Now, in an MBA, you focus on the graduate skill. And here it's mostly towards the professional skill. Clear?
Mhm. Okay. With these documents, because I tried to download the mock one, it's not allowing me to download. It's allowing you to print, but not download.
Just give me a minute.
Could
I
you
will
just
just
check?
show how to download it also today, so everyone can understand. Any other questions other than that?
No, that's all. Thank you.
So the next person is Abhiraj. Any questions? Tetenda, any questions?
Yes, I don't think you added me to the Google Classroom.
I have already shared you the Google Classroom access.
Okay.
Once again, I will share it to you.
All right, that's fine. Thank you, sir.
Welcome. Then Yamini, any questions?
None, sir. Thank you.
No, right? So I believe I have asked questions from everyone. So just to show how to use the Google Classroom. Pam, can you see the Google Classroom in your screen? So since it's getting recorded, I will continue. So students, click the Google Classroom. You are in the Snak wheel. So I believe Pam is listening. So what I'm going to do, I'll go to the class work section. So when I go to the class work section, you have the class recordings. You need to click the view material. And once you click the view material, for me, there is edit option. But for you, when you click, better to open it in a new tab, in case it will be very easier for you. And you find this download icon. So you can download this. That is one. And the second thing, what I want to be specifically telling you is the documents like what you want. Example, the mocks, everything. Now you have the reference material. In this, I have the co-activity map. So again, view material. And it's better to go with open new tab. When you open it in a new tab, you get this download option. So students, I believe that is clear. So can I quickly get a Y in the chat box if you are clear with how to download these materials from the materials? Thank you. Thank you. So thank you very much, everyone. So have a wonderful evening. I will meet you on Sunday class. Thank you very much, students.
Thank you, sir.